board one of the most famous ferries in the world. Please pay attention to the emergency procedure notices displayed around the vessel. As life is led to an emergency, you will hear 7 short blasts followed by 1 prolonged blast on the whistle. If you hear this signal, please make your way to the life jacket assembly point following the assembly station direction signs displayed. The crew will be on hand to give instructions and advice. Please note that smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, is not permitted on any part of the vessel. And for your own safety, we also ask you not to stand on the seat or sit on the ship's rails. We ask cyclists to alight after all foot passengers have left the vessel. Please be aware that at low tide, the link-span passenger bridges will be at a steep angle. This time of day is called low water. You may have difficulty if you have reduced mobility, so please ask for help if required, and take care. Photography and filming may take place during this cruise, and may be used for the purpose of promoting Mersey ferries online, free, and on social media. Liverpool had financially prospered from trade with the British West Indies and the American colonies during the 18th century. A latecomer to the transatlantic trade of cheap material goods to Africa, enslaved Africans to the sugarcane plantations in the West Indies, and sugar, rum and tobacco home to England. Liverpool nevertheless came to dominate transatlantic slavery until its abolition in 1807. Some enslaved Africans were sold to Liverpool elites, mainly for domestic service, and you can find out much more about Liverpool's role in transatlantic slavery at the International Slave Museum at the Royal Albert Dock. The growth of the United States of America provided Liverpool with growing volumes of trade and new docks opened on the Mersey during its succession during the 1890s. The city was described as a gateway to the British Empire and the door to the New World. A significant Irish presence has existed in the city for several centuries. In 1841, an estimated 49,000 Irishmen lived in the city, and in the following years during the Great Famine, only 1.5 million people crossed the Irish Sea, many of whom then left the United States of America and Canada, but many stayed, and their presence changed the character of the city forever. Up to the 19th century, Liverpudlians spoke the same way as their Lancashire neighbours. This is Seacombe Terminal. Please leave here for Seacombe and New Brighton. This is Seacombe. Up to the 19th century, Liverpudlians spoke the same way as their Lancashire neighbours. The impact of Irish migration to the city made the city into a new accent. Today, an estimated 75% of the Liverpool population can trace their heritage to Ireland. For more information on this, the museum of Liverpool.
On the dock wall, you can see the Victorian hexagonal Salisbury dock clock tower designed by Jesse Harvey, who was responsible for much of ancient Scotland's architecture, including the Royal Albert Dock. The clock's chief use was to check the ship's chronometer as the vessel left port, and was affectionately known as the Docker's Clock. It has 6 bases that can be seen from all points of the compass. The only other one of its kind is in Russia. This is also the original site of the entrance to the Liverpool Canal from the river. Although now the extension is finished, the canal extends through to the Royal Albert Dock. We now see the massive red brick building, which is the Stanley Tobacco Warehouse. When built in 1900, it was the world's biggest bonded warehouse, large enough to fit St George's Hall inside. It was built using 27 million bricks, specifically for storing tobacco cargoes until duty was paid, and it is still the largest brick-built building in the world. The next dock downriver is the Nelson Dock, and then we have the Brownlee Moor Dock, which in the future will be the new home of Everton Football Club. The new stadium, at an estimated cost of £760 million, is due to open for the start of the 2025-26 Premier League season, replacing Goodison Park, the club's home since 1892. Brownlee Moor Dock, opened in 1848, was also designed by Jesse Hartley and primarily used as a coal mine. The dock was in use for 140 years, but as coal-fired steamships fell out of use and the coal mines in South Lancashire closed, the demand for coal disappeared, and Brownlee Moor Dock was eventually closed in 1988.
The large wind turbines, as you can see, provide the power to the Royal Seaboard Dock, which is the prime container terminal for North America. Approximately 70% of the Northwest Freight runs through Liverpool. Completed in 2016 and adjacent to the dock is Liverpool 2, a new deep-water container terminal capable of handling 2 post-Panamax vessels simultaneously and able to handle 95% of all vessels that sail the seas. This doubles the container handling capacity of Liverpool. The large group of trees along the Royal foreshore opposite is Vale Farm, and it was near here where the famous gunpowder magazine stood. This is where the ships used to stop to offload or pick up gunpowder on their way into or from port. Storing explosives in the docks themselves was seen as far too big a risk.
During the 18th and early 19th century, smuggling was rife throughout Britain. This area, Wallasey, was perfect for smugglers, because 300 years ago it was cut off from the rest of the Wirral by the Wallasey Pool on one side and the swamp of Winston Moss on the other. It was an isolated, dangerous place, prone to sudden mists and quicksand, and best negotiated only by the few who knew it well. One of the most notorious smugglers here was known as Mother Redcap, who ran an inn which stood by the shore.